morning everyone, Texas Lizard here. It's a chilly morning, it's like 45 degrees. It's going to get 65 today here in central Texas, but it's going to be super windy. So I thought it might be the perfect day to test out my new anchor system. I ordered the Anchor Wizard, and I decided not to use the chute because I still wanted to be able to use the anchor in either the front or the back of the boat. So I'm just going to use the crank and then use a trolley that I had just set up. I was hoping not to have to drill into the boat and put holes in it, but I ended up doing it. I don't know if it's going to hurt the resale on it, but hell, it's my boat. I don't plan on doing so. We'll see. Maybe you other native slayer owners out there have a better solution than drilling into the side of it, like I did. So if you've got better ideas, leave them in the comments to help out other native slayer owners, or just other kayak owners in general. But I'll show you what I've got set up here. So this deck loop, or pad eye, is where I drilled the holes. So they're two small holes. It shouldn't bother anything. It's going to be sitting out of the water anyway. If it does leak a little bit, I plan on putting some silicone on it later. But I've got a $3 small pulley from Lowe's that I've got set up straight onto the pad eye. Thought about using a carabiner, but I'm using as few materials as possible on this to make it as cheap as possible. Everything included in the anchor setup here was about $10. So then I've got this 30-pound paracord. I'm running the sliding end through the handle here to give it a set point. Here's the loop end that hangs a little bit below. And then another pad eye in the back with another pulley on it. So ideally I wouldn't want this paddle in the way, but I like fishing out of the right side, so I wanted as much as I could out of the way of the right side if possible. If I ever wanted the anchor in the middle and was fishing out of the left side, I really run the risk of having a fish get caught up in the anchor line, so I didn't want that to happen. So everything's on the left. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but I think I'm going to be able to get some workarounds for it. So the way this Anchor Wizard works, you turn it to the left and it releases. So I'm going to run that underneath the handle as well. And then we'll be able to put it towards the front or towards the back. I've got my mushroom anchor in here. This is a 10-pound mushroom anchor. It's rated up to 10 pounds, the Anchor Wizard is. I used to use one of those folding anchors, a 3-pound folding anchor, but I kept getting the spines of it tangled up in roots, so I said goodbye to that. I'm not sure if the 10-pound is going to be too much. If it is, we'll go down to a 5. It should be fine to hold the kayak. So that's the setup. Obviously, crank right to bring it back in. And we'll see how she works. If we need to make some adjustments, we'll do so from there. Alright, we're all rigged up, ready to hit the water. Got a small local pond here. It's probably, what, 3 acres? Maybe 3, 4. I don't know, I'm pretty bad at that kind of stuff, but man, I can't wait to hit this pond in the spring. All these little laydowns over here, over there, back there, over here, man, those are gonna hold bedfish like crazy. It's gonna be a massacre. My buddy Brandon, that bass fishing dude, I'll link his channel, says there's some monsters in here. He's been building some giant swim baits lately. I'll check him out. He'll actually build one for you if you want to order one from him. Man, I'm, what, 30 feet? About 30 feet from shore. It's still only 1.5 feet deep. Water is just shy of 50 degrees. That's what it's been for like the last month and a half on every body I've been on. just barely deep enough to drop my drive. Still only 2 feet. Brandon said down by that dam it's like 15 feet at least. I don't know. I'm curious to get out there and see, but hell, right now I'm still only in less than 2 feet. Morning. All right. Catch anything? It's only the second time I've been here. It's only the second time I've been here. The first time I was just bank fishing, but I thought it'd be neat to chart plot this because a buddy of mine says it's like 15, 18 feet out here.
They got mad at me when I brought my cast out.
Oh, really? Yeah. There's someone that has a canoe that lives right there. Huh. No kidding. Well, if they tell me to, I'll leave. Was it police that told you to leave? No, it's HOA. Oh, okay. Yeah, the same guy that told me that that it's really deep out here in the middle is he told me that he lives in Woodbridge, so I figured he'd know, but
You would think, right? I don't know, maybe I just got the wrong guy.
could be. Power trip guy.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny the different stories you get from different people when you ask them if you're allowed to fish a place. Because I emailed the city of Wiley one time and asked them about Monroe Lake off a country club, and they told me it was private. And then I asked again, must have got someone else. I asked again about a soil conservation site, and they basically said, well, yeah, it's owned by someone, but if there's no signs, I would just fish it till someone told you to leave. It's like, okay. I should have done a separate video on this, but I'm just now starting to get serious about this video stuff. But this Burley Pro steering upgrade for my native Slayer is absolutely awesome. And if you have a Slayer and don't yet have the Burley Pro steering upgrade, get it. You see how quick I just turned there? This thing turns on a dime now. I've got the Boondocks extended rudder plus the Burley Pro. It's a dream. My boy's full of, the deepest I saw was 8 feet. Yeah. I was hoping he was right, but I still got to give him. Alright, I won this pack of swim baits from the bass fishing subreddit for the monthly lure challenge. A nice quick little kick to it. Kick, tight, wiggle. Not much wobble, not much roll on this keel weighted 1/8 ounce 4/0 swim bait hook. I wonder if it would be different on just a weightless Texas rig. Alright, let's slow it down a bit. Oh, that's nice when it's slow. Alright, let's see what we got here. I'd love to be able to smash one on the first cast and pimp Bait Labs. Well, so far I've stayed put, so I guess the anchor is doing its job. It's only like 9-10 miles an hour right now though, and it's so protected in here. I mean, there's hardly a ripple on the water. let's do what we came here to do and play with the trolley. It's supposed to handle 10, but I don't know. That must be my eviction notice. My question is, why'd they put it on my windshield and not yours?
Yeah. Because she knows that she had to put on mine before.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the same lady.
It's the same lady?
I'm pretty sure. Because there's a lady's name on it.
That's hilarious how she was running. like she can't just tell me, hey, you're not allowed to be on here all nicely. It's like, nope, I gotta be passive aggressive about it.
You know, last time I didn't know she put it on mine. So I got up there. But I knew it was a woman's hand on it because I could tell where it was.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
that's funny. So when I got back to my truck, this was on it. Someone had placed this under the windshield wiper. Boats are not allowed on Woodbridge ponds. Please refrain. Please refrain from fishing. Now that's a lot of F's. Please refrain from fishing from a boat in the future. Thanks so much, Woodbridge resident. So, Brandon, either you were wrong or other Woodbridge resident is wrong. I don't know who to believe. The thing is, why would she handle it herself? I don't know that she's the proper authority to tell me to get off this property. I would think that it would be either HOA or the police, which I'd listen to and fine, have no problem. But the funny thing about it is that she pulled up in this black Cadillac SUV, you know, just a few feet behind my truck, and ran up to it, literally, like sprinted up to my truck, slipped it under the windshield wiper, and then ran off. The other guy that I was talking to in that red hoodie that was fishing down at the other end, that was bank fishing, said that he had the same thing happen. I don't know how long ago it was, but he was on this pond with his kayak. He lives close by too, and he came back to a note on his as well. He said it was the same paper and the same handwriting as the note that I was left. So, interesting situation. I don't know if she has nothing better to do than just sit here and spy on people that aren't hurting anything. I mean, I get it. Rules are rules, but is she the frickin' neighborhood watch? Like, I don't know. If a real authority comes out here and tells me that, that's fine, but there's no signs posted anywhere. Why wouldn't there be a sign posted? I mean, if the rule is in place, that's fine, because even though I'm not hurting anything, other people do. People leave trash, people take all the fish, you know, treat the property badly. That's not me, but it's some people, so I understand that, but I don't know. Handle it properly. Come on. So, an update on the lady that shooed me off at the pond. I texted Brandon and showed him the note, and that bass fishing dude got back to me and said that pond is not actually a Woodbridge pond. It's owned by the city, not managed by the development. Oh, he just texted again and said it's actually owned by the golf club, which is not owned by the neighborhood. It's funny because I was looking at the map, and the golf club's property. You know, you're looking at Google Maps, the parks and golf courses and all that jazz is usually bordered off in green, and the green portion, which I would assume would be the golf course property, didn't include this pond. So interesting. Either way, sounds like she's probably in the wrong as long as Brandon knows his stuff, and he probably does because he usually checks on these things. He's pretty legit on knowing where he can and can't fish, and the city themselves have told us if there are no signs posted, fish until they kick you off, and she definitely doesn't have the authority to kick us off. So I don't know. Funny situation. If I wanted to fish there again, I would do it. Didn't catch anything today, so I'm still skunked for 2019, but it's been too cold and windy. I've been trying too hard anyway. But, so, don't necessarily have the need to. The only reason I did it today is because it was close and it's small. It's a good spot to check out, test out the anchor winch and trolley, which worked pretty well for the most part. I wish it pulled a little harder. I might have to figure out something else for the retrieve, unless I just feel like getting my hands wet, which this time of year can be a little unpleasant, but in the summer, ain't no thing. But interesting. Me from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, hell, even 5 years ago, I was less level-headed than I am now, but would have probably been pretty petty and gone back there and just waited for her to put another note on and, told her, well, you want me off? Call the HOA, call the police, whatever. I'll listen to them. But, man, what would you do? I'm probably just going to let it go. If it was something that I wanted to fish again, maybe it'd be a different story. I don't know. But, life goes on.